Hey Beehive, it's Beyonce, and I have a very, very special guest, my mother, Miss Tina Knowles. So the topic that we are going to be discussing today is queer families, parents with queer children. It is a very, very important conversation that I want to have with my mother, but it is also an important conversation that I think a lot of families should have with their children. Are you ready? I think the perfect way to start the conversation would be with like a coming out story. I don't really have one. I'm very vocal about social justice, social commentary. I'm very vocal with my beliefs about what's going on in society. One medium that I use to talk about these things is my Facebook. She's my Facebook friend, so she sees a lot of it. But I think that I'm very vocal in a way that it's not as if I'm an ally. I'm very vocal about it in a way that shows that I have some kind of connection with this community. But somebody tell them the story of how you kind of knew. No,
Go ahead.
You tell it. You tell it. You tell it. I'm not telling nothing. Tell it. She always says, don't go looking for something if you don't want to find it, right? So tell them what you found. Tell them what you found. Tell them what you found. Tell them. So I left my Facebook open and she was snooping through my Facebook messages, and she came across the messages. I was trying to thought and bop, and she found them.
I found something that I shouldn't have been looking for, but I'm glad I know now.
One problem that we've always had, I think, was like religion always coming up in conversations. My mom is religious. She identifies as a Christian woman. Well, she sent me with 2 Bibles going to school. So I always had the word at my fingertips. It was just very, very scary not knowing how to have those types of conversations when I knew that I had a parent who was very, very religious. And I knew that society always told me that I am damned to hell anyway based on my sexuality, something that I obviously cannot control or something that I have no control over. How do you navigate space as a Christian woman who also has a queer child? Like how is it for you trying to like juggle those 2 things?
I guess I've grown to accept and to learn to love everybody, regardless of their sexuality. So it wasn't really hard for me.
So when it comes to religion, like how do you, because the Bible says, man shall not, lie with man. How has that been for you to know that like something that you believe in, like a religion that you believe in also like doesn't accept your child, or for the most part doesn't accept your child? Like how has that been?
It's hard because out of fear of what society wants them to live in their image and, not be accepting of their sexuality, I guess, that part has been hard because, like I said, society wants them to live one way when they should live the way that fits best for them. So that was kind of hard because I'm in fear of bad things happening because how society perceive those perceived gays. So that's kind of hard.
Okay, girl. Okay. So how has it been for you in conversations with people outside of our family? Because we talk a lot. We're very close. So how has it been having conversations outside of us with like friends, family members, people outside of us about sexuality, and knowing that like that kind of conversation is personal to you?
Probably because these subjects are touchy. I really don't talk to anyone besides my best friends in regards to my children's sexuality. That's not anybody's business. So I pretty much don't discuss, their sexuality with anybody. My love for them is unconditional.
So, I think that we should get to the question. So my mom, I asked her to write 5 to 7 questions. Before I go into these questions, I would like to say that I do not know everything about sexuality, and I can only speak from my own experiences. So this is kind of a learning experience for both of us. Question number 1. Are you ready? What is your input on those saying that being gay is wrong and a sin? I identify as a gay Christian. I don't take everything from the Bible face value because I think that there are a lot of sins. And if we want to focus on just one, I think that that is very, very unfair. Also, okay, so side note. I watched this movie called Blue Black.
A few moments later.
I really don't want to get into a conversation about religion, but I just think that when we talk about religion and we talk about homosexuality, I think that you don't have to take the Bible face value for everything. The Bible has a lot of great stuff, and I think that if we only focus on one line out of the Bible, then like what actually are we getting out of it?
Good job.
Who do you think is to blame for today's youth behavior and why? I think that overall society, I think that when they say that it takes a village to raise a child, I think that that is very true, and I don't want to put the blame on one person. And so I think that when it comes to the behavior of the youth, I think that it comes from multiple people, and so I don't really think that it comes from one person. I don't want to put the blame specifically on the parents because that will suggest that every single parent is in every single child's life, and that's not really the truth. I think that it's very, very important that we take a holistic look and start to look at not just the parents or just not look at the education system or the laws and all of that, but how all of these intersect, because the laws affect the parents. We have a very, very, and if we're speaking about a lot of minority communities and all of that, we have a lot of families who have parents who are in prison, and so that can affect the child. And then that can also affect how they perform in the school system, which can also affect how they perform in society. And then society uses that as well. Oh, they're bad, they're horrible, they're a bad kid, they're a bad person. Let me use this as a way to create another law to oppress them again. And so I think that it's not just one thing that kind of makes them. If you could change one law, what would it be? I have the right to get married now. So if anybody wants to
put a ring on it.
Oh, wrong hand. Is it left hand?
Yeah.
If anybody wants to.
But approval from mother first.
I will legalize marijuana.
Cut. Parents, love your children unconditionally, regardless of their sexuality.
So that sums up our conversation, and you are watching
Torrian TV.